Happy spring! Let's talk about some spring book recs. This is spring vibes. You're trying to get it to bloom. That's spring, guys. That's spring. So this is a perfect spring book. Perfect flop. Like, look at that flop. Same vibes, different story. Hello my friends, welcome to my channel, Discover with Kim. I'm Kim, I'm so excited you're here with me today. Welcome to this week's Friday book chat. It is Friday, so that means it is time to chat all things books. This week we are going to be getting into it with some spring book recs. So grab a drink, perhaps some caffeine, perhaps some hydration, and let's chat books. I'm going to be breaking down this video into two different parts. We're going to have spring book recs that I have read and I think they give off the perfect spring vibe, and then we're going to have spring book recs that I have not read, but based on what I know about them, I think they give off the perfect spring vibe, and I'm planning to read them this spring. So let's get right into it, huh? Also, it is ridiculously windy out today, like ridiculously windy, so I'm so sorry if you can hear that. But let's talk books. These are going to be in no particular order. They're just kind of how I grabbed them from my shelf. So the first book, we are going to start off with spring book recs that I have read and I think you should read too. The first book is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. This is a young adult romantasy book. It follows our female main character. It is her debut season into high society, and in this world, when you are debuting, the girls get to go to their magical fae queen and ask for one favor or one gift in exchange for something, and typically these gifts are something to make them more suitable for suitors, such as becoming amazing at the pianoforte or being absolutely beautiful that you're so breathtaking. Ivy, our main character, she only wants one bargain with the queen. However, during her debut season, things are a little bit different. It turns out that the queen's fae son, Prince Bram, is looking for a wife, and this season there's actually going to be a competition to see if you're going to be the one who gets to marry him. So Ivy enters this competition to try and win favor with the queen and free her sister from her own bargain that destroyed her life. This book is so good because it's set in high society, so you get that beautiful like high court season, but also the details in this book are so spectacular. You get this glimmering court and you get such a immersive world that I feel like when I was reading this, I was just watching a movie, and it was so beautiful and so breathtaking, and I feel like that is such a perfect spring vibe. The high society paired with the beautiful, breathtaking scenery just seems like the perfect spring vibe for me. Plus, this is book number 1 in a series, and book number 2 is released in April. So if you read this beginning of spring, you can jump right into book number 2 and continue the story, which I think is going to be so good. This book is full of a love triangle, there is politics, there are secrets, there's magic, and there's so much to it. There are twists and twists and twists, and I loved it. Next up is a bit of a women's fiction, personal growth with a bit of romance in it, and that is 4 Ways to Wear a Dress by Gillian Libby. This book follows our female main character. She is looking for a fulfilling life, and she keeps telling herself that if she just holds on for a little bit longer, everything will fall into place. That is until she gets fired from her job. This sends her into a tailwind, and she ends up going to California to visit her best friend. She's not really sure what she plans on doing there, but she does know that whatever it is going to include the little black dress that her and her friends shared in college. Now, the first time she re-wears this dress, she gets her photo taken with her best friend's brother, who is a little bit of a social media celebrity. Everybody mistakes this photo and thinks that they are the hottest new couple in the Bay, and they decide to go with it. So it is a really cute fake dating story. It's a really cute coming of age and finding yourself story, and I think with it set in California and the vibes of it, it's just a really fun spring book. It could be a summer book, but I feel like this one definitely gives the spring vibes as it's leading up to the warmer season and you're kind of finding yourself, and it's like you're blossoming and regrowth, which is so much of spring, and I just think it's perfect. Next up is The Dating Plan by Sarah Desai. Funnily enough, this book is also set in California and includes fake dating. That was not intentional. Apparently fake dating is a very spring thing, I guess. But this follows 2 professionals. Our female main character is a software engineer. She has her life all planned out, and she has all these goals. One of her goals, however, is not finding a husband. Her family, however, very much wants her to find a husband, so in order to get them off her back, she asks her childhood best friend to stand in as her fake fiance. Just kidding. Not her childhood best friend, it was her childhood crush. So it was her childhood crush who happens to be her older brother's best friend, Liam. Liam is a venture capitalist and he is looking to get his inheritance, but he finds out that there's one stipulation: he needs to be married. So when his best friend's little sister also is looking for marriage, they decide to hatch a plan to fake date, and in order for him to get his inheritance and her to get her family off her back, they decide to go on a series of fake dates to legitimize their relationship, and as they do, they start to grow closer together and they start to get to know each other and grow some feelings, and the dating plan doesn't really go to plan. But this book is really cute, it's really sweet, it has a lot of spring vibes. A lot of the things they do, I recall, were very springy. The vibes of this book is just super spring, and I feel like a light, fun, standalone romance is such a fun spring vibe. Moving on, we have a bit of a different book, and that is The Secret Garden by, this one is by Maria Marsden because it is a graphic novel. So you can see this is the graphic novel version, which is amazing. I'm not sure if that's the true author of the book, so you can also check out the book by this author. But I have the graphic novel version. I think either the graphic novel version or the true version would be a perfect spring vibe. Literally, it's about a little girl who lost her family and she has to go and live with a relative, and she ends up finding a secret garden, and that's what helps her heal and find friendship and connect with nature, and it's such a beautiful book. And I think the novel would be a great read, but I also think that the graphic novel is such a fun read because it's light and it has all these beautiful pictures, and I say give it a read, especially for spring. Like, this is spring vibes. This is spring vibes. Moving on, one of my absolute favorite books, like favorite books in general, and that is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a cozy fantasy book. It is the beginning of a series, but they are interconnected standalones, so you do not have to continue the series if you wish, but this one is just such spring vibes. So our female main character, she works as a librarian in the capital, and when a revolution starts, she is forced to flee the capital. She grabs as many books as she can. She grabs Kaz, her sentient plant, spider plant, and she gets in a boat and she flees back to the island where her parents came from. They had a house there that was going to rot, so she goes into that house, she repairs the house, and she starts a little jam shop. And she also starts selling spells that she's not supposed to sell, as it's illegal to do magic in the kingdom. But the island needs help and she wants to help out, so she starts selling these spells, and it's such a sweet story. There is a light theme of romance in it, but it's also mostly about found friendship and family and what you do to take care of each other, and how the government isn't always supposed to control things, and it's just such a sweet story, and I absolutely loved it. It's a fast read, it's a cozy read, it's very immersive, and it's the perfect spring book. Next up, I'm going to mention these two books together because they are part of the same series, and that is Mile High and The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. This is part of the Windy City series. It's book number 1 and book number 2. I think this whole series could be perfect spring vibes. It's a sports romance, spicy, professional sports romance. It's amazing. I love it. It's full of banter. It's full of giggling. Amazing. The books are talking. But these two in particular, I think, really give off spring because this one follows hockey and this one follows basketball, which are winter/spring sports. And then the next two in the series follow baseball, which is more of a summer sport. So I figured these are definitely spring vibes. And then if you get these two read this spring, you can read the next two during the summer. Although I'm currently reading them right now, and they are so good. But yeah, the Windy City series, especially book 1, Mile High, and book 2, The Right Way, read them this spring. I love this series. Like, everyone talks about it, and you're like, oh, it's overhyped. It's not overhyped. It's amazing. If you like spicy adult romance and sports romance, it's amazing. And it's dual point of view. They're all dual point of view, so. Okay, and then the final book that I recommend for you guys that I have read is Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. Yes, Devney Perry. This is a romantasy book. It is, again, the beginning of a series. The next book is not out yet, but I do believe it is set to come out soon. Here's the date. So if you get this one read, you'll be all ready for that date to come out, and honestly, I'm just obsessed with this book, and I love it. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of fantasy novels are more fall vibes, but this one I feel like you could read spring, summer. It definitely gives those vibes. So in this world, there are gods who released monsters long ago to remind the humans their place. Now, our female main character, she is living in this world that has monsters overrun it, and she is a princess who is supposed to be the spare. But when a monster hunter comes to town and she catches his eye, she ends up having to be whisked away to marry him, and she goes on this adventure to the most dangerous part of the country, across the most dangerous lands, with this man she doesn't know, and she learns all about politics and herself and so much about the world, and it is so good. There's so many fun creatures, and it's so creative, and I really loved it. I thought this book was so fun and so beautiful. Here's a picture in it if you want to kind of see the vibes. I love this book. I thought it was so good, and like I said, book number 2 is coming out soon, so you need to get book number 1 a read before it comes out, and I just think it's a really fun, dense, romantic book for springtime, because it really does give some good spring vibes. Okay, so those are the 8 books that I have read that I recommend you should read this spring. We're going to set these aside, and now I have 8 books that I have not read that I think give off amazing spring vibes, and I'm hoping to read them this spring, so I think you guys should too, and we can read them together, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Let's get right into it. Again, these are in no particular order. Actually, let me close the window because it's getting windier and windier. Okay, so 8 books, 8 spring book recs that I think you should read, even though I haven't read them yet. So these ones, I'm going to only be able to kind of describe what I know based off what I've seen and the synopsis. So these are all just a guess. The first one is A Secret in the Garden by Jeanne O'Reilly. This one, just look at it. Look at that. I feel like that, just in general, gives off spring vibes. Anything that has to do with a garden, I feel like is very springy. This one says, some secrets were never meant to be unearthed. Blackwood Manor is perched on a windswept cliff, and, oh, I remember this. Okay, so Blackwood Manor is on a windswept cliff, and it is very dark. There's lots of, like, stories about it and all this stuff, and it's only inhabited by the brooding son, Jasper. He is the heir to the weapons empire. Now, our female main character, she works as a botanist in the conservatory, and she is desperate to save her job, so she goes to Jasper and begs for a donation in order to save the conservatory and save her job. He agrees under one stipulation: she needs to stay there and she needs to fix up the conservatory herself, no help. However, this manor is not empty. She battles thorns and secrets. A magnetic tension builds between her and Jasper, dark, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. And something else stirs among the roots and ruins, whispers in the walls, confusing disturbances, and a presence watching her every move. The deeper Eliza digs, the more she uncovers a garden of grief, longing, and desire. Because in Blackwood Manor, even buried things can bloom again. So, yeah, it's about a lot. It's about a lot, it sounds like. Very fantasy, very in-depth, I'm thinking, but it's basically about a girl who wants to fix up a garden in a conservatory, and dark things start happening, but they're trying to fix it up and see if they can get it to bloom. Like, they're trying to get it to bloom. That's spring, guys. That's spring. Next up is a really fun romance book, and that is One and Only by Maureen Gu. This one looks really fun and really sweet. It follows our female main character. She believes in soulmates. She believes in fated love stories. It's her family business, actually. For centuries, from Korea to Los Angeles, Park women have peered into clients' past lives to find their one true love. They're fated. This magical secret is why One and Only matchmaking has a 100% guarantee for everyone but Cassia. For 10 years, Cass has been searching for her fated, a man named Daniel Nam, but he's still nowhere to be found. So, on the eve of her 40th birthday, Cass decides to do something for herself. She impulsively has a fling with Ellis. He's 28 and decently handsome and not destined to be the love of her life. But she's surprised by their connection, and their fling feels like something more, up to the moment he introduces her to his boss, Daniel Nam. As she battles between fate and chance, head and heart, a family secret is revealed that will make Cass question everything she's ever known. Like, that sounds so sweet and so cute, and I feel like even just the cover gives off spring vibes, and I feel like that's going to be the perfect spring romance read. And, like, she has a fated, but then she has a one night stand, and her fated is his boss. That sounds messy, and I love messy. Okay, next up is a fantasy speculative fiction novel, and that is House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I also grabbed Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune because this is book number 2 in the series. So these ones do go together. In this book, our main character, Linus. He is the by-the-book caseworker in the Department of Chance of Magical Youth. He is 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records. His quiet life is about to change, though. He is summoned by extreme upper management and he is given a new assignment. He is to travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. That sounds good. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is Arthur Parnassus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn. Or worse, his secret comes to light. That sounds so good, and it sounds really sweet and really cute, and I believe it is kind of set in like a spring-like setting, and then this is the next book. So I'm not going to tell you anything about this because I don't want to ruin it for you or for me, but that would be, the next rec would be you read this one and you go right into book number 2, and I just think that would be such a fun, heartwarming, different story to read for this springtime, and it sounds like it has a very nice love story in it, and found family, and protection, and I'm really excited to read this one, and I just think it really just gives off springy vibes. Like, look at it. And if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, like, this could be a perfect book. Next up is a romance that I've been trying to read for a very, very long time, and that is Funny Story by Emily Henry. You probably heard of this book, but if you haven't, this book follows our 2 main characters, our female and our main male character. They are both in relationships, and the people they're in relationships with are best friends with each other. And then right before one of them, I believe the female, right before Daphne is about to get married, he realizes that he's in love with his best friend and she's in love with him. So they leave our 2 main characters to go be with each other. So our 2 main characters end up having to move in with each other because they're now single and they have nowhere to live. So they end up moving in with each other and being roommates, and they end up getting to know each other, and then some photos online have people questioning if maybe a little bit more is happening between them. And I think they lean into that and just have some fun with it, and then real feelings start to grow. So it sounds like a little bit more, not necessarily fake dating again, but like letting people believe they're dating when they're not. But it sounds like it's really cute, and I heard it's really funny, and the banter is there, and it'll have you kicking your feet. And the book starts on May 1st, so like obviously it takes place in spring, and I feel like a rom-com romance is needed every single spring. Like, you need a rom-com romance, and I think this one would be perfect. Next up is a young adult, new adult, I'm not really sure, but it is a fantasy novel, and that is Guardians of Dreamdark Wind Witch. I believe this is number 1 in a series, yes, because it says 1 here. Number 2 is not out yet. I'm not sure if there's a date. If there is, I'll put out here when the next one comes out, but just look at this book. It's gorgeous. Like, it gives off spring vibes so much that, like, I just picked it up because it straight up just gives off 100% spring vibes. Eek. So, this book I feel like would be perfect for spring. It follows, here, let me just read it to you. Magpie Wind Witch is her people's last hope. For centuries, the fairies, ooh, it's fairies. I love fairies. And I feel like we don't get this kind of fairies very often. We get fae, but we don't get fairies. The fairies have lived safely in their peaceful forest, but now their world is under threat. Devils are escaping the prisons that have held them for millennia, and only one fairy stands in their way. Magpie Wind Witch is the greatest, the only, devil hunter of the age. Together with her trusted band of crows, she tracks down and recaptures those ravenous beasts that devour everything in their path. This sounds good. When the hunt leads them to the legendary forest of Dreamdark, Magpie finds herself outnumbered, outmatched. Facing the greatest foe her kind has ever known, not to mention an impostor queen, a disgusting imp, and a young fairy warrior, as infuriating as he is brave, one thing is certain: if she's to save the world, she needs all the help she can get. This may be, it says now available for a new generation of fans. Oh. First published as Blackbringer in 2007. Okay, cute. Cute. So I guess this is a republish as, and maybe rewritten, but really cute, and it sounds like a perfect spring vibe, honestly. I think it's going to be a really fun one. And I think it's going to be like a fast-moving adventure, which I think is going to be really, really cool. And it's going to be like actual fantasy, not like romantasy, which I'm craving. Next up, we have In the Weeds by B.K. Borson. This is a romance book. This is the second in a interconnected standalone series. The first one was Love Light Farms. It is the Love Light series. This is book number 2. This follows Evelyn St. James. She is a social media influencer, and it follows Beckett. He works on the Christmas tree farm from the first book. These two have had 2 incredible one-night stands, but they both are from separate areas of life and they both have their own goals, so they're trying to move on. But Evelyn is feeling burnt out, so she decides to take some time away from social media and go back to the farm where she found some peace and some quiet. And while she's there, she runs into Beckett, and I'm pretty sure things start heating up. I absolutely loved Love Light Farms. I feel like this is going to be such a good follow-up. It is clearly the spring version. You can just see it is a spring book. So this is a perfect spring book, and I'm so excited to read this one. I can't wait, and I think it's going to be such a good follow-up. It's like perfect flop. Like, look at that flop. It flops so well, and it's not too thick, and I think it's just going to be such a fun, lighthearted read, and I think I'm going to be picking this one up probably either next week or in April for my birthday month. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to be picking this one up this spring because it's perfect spring vibes. I'm really excited for this one, and I think it's going to be really cute. And I know that a Christmas tree farm in spring is probably going to be so sweet, right? So I'm excited for that. And then, the last, but not the least, but the last book that I am recommending for you guys for some spring book recs is Thorn Season by Kira Azar. First off, my sister read this. She said it's really, really good, and I need to read it, so definitely need to read it. Now, if you're looking at this, you're thinking, yeah, that's giving off spring vibes, girl. Like, did you say spring? Because I said spring. So this sounds so good. Let me read what it says. An heiress possessing illegal magic who has more to lose than just her secrets. A harsh and glittering royal court where the threat of discovery lurks around every corner. 2 beguiling and very dangerous men who might be her salvation or her ruin. It's rose season at the palace, but survival will depend on becoming the most vicious of thorns. That sounds amazing. That really tells me very little about it. There's 2 men. It's rose season. Things are going to be intense. But it looks so good and so amazing. When I was talking to my sister about it, she said it gives off the same vibes as the Rose Bargain in like setting and glamour and that kind of stuff. But the storyline is completely different. So same vibes, different story. So I'm thinking, since that's completely spring vibes, this is going to be completely spring vibes, and I'm really excited to read this one. I think it's going to be really good, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. So, yeah, I think you guys should read this one this spring with me. I don't know much about it. It's a romantasy set in high society. That's all I really know, honestly, but just the vibes scream spring. And there we go. Those are the 8 books that I recommend you read this spring that I have not yet read, as well as the 8 books I recommend you read this spring that I have read. I just think that reading based on season is so fun and something I love to do, and it really gives off the vibes for me as a mood reader. I feel like seasonal reading definitely plays a part in that. So here are some great books for your guys' seasonal reading. I would love to hear any spring book recs you have down below. Please let me know. Leave them in the comments because I'm always looking for more spring book recs, and let me know any books you are so excited to read this spring. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. I hope you guys are having a fabulous March, and I hope your spring is incredible and full of really good books. With that, I will love you and leave you. Live well, my friends. Read lots of good books and go discover. Until next time. Bye. And happy spring.